Hey, welcome back, everybody. All right, so here we go. Let's get into a little touch base with the collective energy. We've got Knight of Coins, throat chakra, Seven of Wands, crown chakra, Two of Coins, sacral chakra, and Six of Wands, third eye chakra. Okay, so normally we would have anybody who's got that intuition, right, is going to know that something is coming. She knows that it's almost like this feminine says, I can almost see he's approaching. I open up my door and I see this sailing ship. I energetically am sensing he's on his way back. And he could prove to be my blockage. He could be somebody that I need to put up a blockage with. I need to prepare myself and say, if somebody brings me, I know somebody's approaching me pretty soon. If they're going to bring me drama or if they're going to bring me anything that I don't want, I got to be ready to say, no, thank you. I'm having my success. However, she has this overwhelming sense that there is going to be success. Her crown chakra being wide open here and saying anything that is a struggle or a difficulty, it might just have been her acknowledging, like, I can already tell I'm going to have to make a choice. Well, we have to make choices every day. So that's all right. And that's not so scary. But with the Two of Pentacles, it's like she may already say, I know if I see him again, man, my knees are going to turn to jelly. I just know, like, this sacral chakra is house of sensuality and emotions. This Knight of Coins could be somebody who just makes her go weak in the knees. Oh gosh. That song by Vince Gill, I go weak in the knees and I lose my breath. I can hardly speak and the words won't come. I'm so scared to death. And when you smile that smile, my world turns upside down whenever you come around. I love that song so much. He sings it so beautifully. I think that's what it's called, is Whenever You Come Around. And I feel like she is aware he'll always have that impact on her. She senses this Knight of Coins could be an earth sign, could be a masculine, has something to say to her, has had something to say for a long time. She knows that either the talk is coming or that he is moving toward her at some point. Let's pick a good deck. Let's go this route. Her intuition tells her that, her crown chakra tells her that, but also her house of sensuality and emotions tells her that. And in truth, she already knows, I might want to turn back around and acknowledge that, yes, I may still have a lot of passion for him. Okay, so let me ask her this. Why are you so convinced? I know we can say, well, her third eye, her crown chakra. Emperor. She is saying, because I always knew one day I knew that they were an emperor. I knew that this, we'll say man, just because this is a traditional male archetype. I always knew he was one of the good ones. That is why I turned to jelly. That is why I always knew, even if he wasn't an emperor when I knew him at the time, I saw emperor traits in him. Look, I'm going to say she is clearly in love with, has been in love with, is still always going to be in love with this particular man. We'll say man, still could be a woman. She could be a man. It doesn't matter. I don't read for genders. I read for energy flow. But she looks at him as an action taker, as, energy of the sun, which is the masculine energy. Okay. But why do you think he's coming forward now? Or why do you sense his approach? Five of Cups in the reverse. Interesting. She says, because I don't feel his absence. It's almost like she's saying, my spidey senses tell me there's nothing to cry over. My spidey senses are telling me something good is about to happen. I don't feel a loss. I don't feel sad. I don't feel his distance. I feel beautiful energy about him. Like he's approaching me. Okay. I don't want to burst her bubble if this is the energy she wants to sit in. But on the other hand, why? Let's take a look at the Knight of Coins. Knight of Coins. We just got a sideways card. Eight of Pentacles sideways. Okay, so he has indeed been working on things. But let's remember, Knight of Coins is very slow moving. This says he's been working on things. He might just now be at the Eight of Pentacles. Whatever he's needed to, attend to in his own life. Okay, we've got the Nine of Swords. It is kind of tilted, but mostly in the downhill position. So he's a lot less stressed out now. Okay, what about in regards to her? How do you think about her? How do you feel about her? Oh, damn. She's my Six of Cups. She is my 10 of Pentacles sideways. She is the person that I have every intention of returning to. She is the person that I could have a wonderful life with. And I know that. Okay, so you know the same thing. You feel this pull toward her as well. That's beautiful. 5 of Coins. And man, I've been missing the hell out of her. Okay, so his life, he wants her energy in his life. He knows that there's a special bond here. Are you really headed toward her? Or is she just picking up on King of Swords? Yeah, he's really heading toward her. And I think he's about ready to, not because everything in his life is all so perfectly organized exactly, but he's definitely been learning things and taking care of what he had to, right? Because we see him sitting here and he's got the graduation cap. Sorry, the word graduation eluded me for a second there. We see he feels very knowledgeable. He feels like, I think he put his heart, over there and said, I can't deal with love right now. I have to deal with the stuff that I must sift through. Maybe he put himself through a training program. Maybe he got, trained to do some other career path. He looks very business oriented. He may have said, I have to get my life sorted. I have to get through, maybe he had to choose a new career path for himself, had to get trained in that. Whatever it was, it looks like love had to be put on the back burner at one point for him. He has been working very hard, but it doesn't look like at any point in time he didn't still know that, like, one fine day, she is my soulmate. One fine day when I get some stuff sorted, when I learn the things that I have to. Now, these could have been life lessons. It doesn't have to be that it was like all money related or, career related. It just says he knew he had to do other things first to make himself into the person he wants to be. I mean, kudos to him for becoming the person that he wants to be. Now, he sees himself possibly as a very truthful and logical, step-by-step King of Swords. They tend to process information fully and completely. They can be very, you cannot speed them up. If they're going to handle things, they will not answer you until they get the answer that they've sifted through. And you can see with the brain patterns there, it could take them a long time to sift through and get all the way to the answer. Once they have the answer, then they progress forward. But you cannot light a fire under them and be like, come on, just hurry it up and give me a quick answer. Especially not with this guy. Okay, so it does look like you have done what you needed to. You've built yourself into who you wanted to become. She is a soulmate to you. You are currently missing her. And I would say that there's a strong bond. What do you want to say to her? What is it that you want to say to her, King of Swords? You want to be my Queen of Swords? Please? Oh, wow. So he's ready to talk to her on her level. And the level that he's currently at is his level. This sounds like one of those stories where an individual said, I need to level myself up in order to match with her. So that's what I did. That's what I do. That's what I know I needed to do. So I went out and I did it. Good for you for doing what you needed to so that you can have the kind of relationship that you want to have, even if it cost, or not even cost this relationship earlier in the game. It just delayed things. Yeah, well, there's lots of stuff in life that, we can't have instant gratification for. None of this looks like he was trying to cause hurt or pain. If anything, I would say this is a story where she can feel like blockages are being removed. Let me just ask, how is she sensing these shifts? Because obviously she's very attuned, right? Her house of emotions, her higher self, all these things are very attuned. What is the thing that's telling you intuitively that things have changed? Page of Wands, King of Pentacles. There's something here where it's almost like she's saying, by the way, we may have a date. We have 25 on this card. I didn't write that on there. That's how the card is made. She's feeling something different, in the air, in the wind. She also, interestingly enough, is I just know I've always been on their mind. I know that there's something, I don't know if she's recently seen somebody that reminded her of them so much. And she was like, oh, there's some confirmation. I don't know if somebody's birthday is coming up on the 25th or if, so it could be a Libra, even though technically this is, fire energy with that Page of Wands. But that's just the first step toward a spark of interest. Sometimes, because this can be about art as well, she might have, like seen something, like maybe she listened to a song, or she watched a movie, and it was like, oh my God, this totally, it's like mirrors myself and them. Like I could see us as those characters. And although I'm not going to say it out loud, I completely feel like I'm identifying with this story. There's something here where there's a spark of creativity and something has stood out to her. And it's like, that feels like me and him. And in this, whatever film or this story or this, song, there's like, she's always on his mind and she's always on his. But, of course, in a film, we get to see that play out. And I almost feel like those are the kinds of confirmations or something she's been having. And it's like, I don't know why, I just feel so convinced that blockages are lifting for us as well. Maybe that's why I stumbled across this film or this book or this song that seems to be a mirror of the story of us. I mean, sure, that could still just be wishful thinking, but we've seen on his side that it's not. Why does she have the Two of Coins? Six of Swords. There is this part of her that still says, if he does not come forward, if this is just wishful thinking on my part, and I'm just, because this is a house of sensuality and passion, it's going to be one of two things. She's like, either he really is coming toward me, or it's going to be somebody else. And I'm going to realize that although I will always love him, I have to let him go because somebody else is real and true. And if somebody showed up in my life and they are my swan, they are the person I'm supposed to be with for life, what I will realize is that there were two amazing people in my life. If it's a different emperor who shows up, and this could still be, if a different emperor shows up and they are everything I've ever wished for, I will realize that this sense of peace and this sense of like, I know what I'm doing, I know how this was supposed to all play out, I will understand that it's because in my lifetime, in this lifetime, I had two amazing emperors. I had two different paths my life could have taken. And if it is somebody else who shows up, I will understand that the reason I've been thinking so heavily about him is that this is my goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend kind of message, where it's like, I know you could have been the one for me, but it's going to be a different one. And I have more than one amazing and fabulous soulmate or perfect match, because this is about both moving on, and this is about, you notice that we have like the checkerboard here, the swan's mate for life. So this storyline is like, she's saying, I'm at peace because although I actually cannot say with 10,000% certainty that is going to be him showing up in my world, I can say that things are getting unblocked, and I can say that I can sense an emperor is coming in. Now, of course, my mind is all over him because I still have passion for him, and I believe it's going to be him coming in. But if I'm wrong and it's somebody else, it'll still be an amazing emperor, and I'll be able to let him go if that's what is supposed to happen. So it's interesting because she's like, I have this intuition, but intuition with the awareness that life still makes us make choices because we are in charge of our own life, and that there's more than one timeline for us. So she's really owning that. I do feel like it's him coming in, though. We have got the Ace of Pentacles sideways. All she knows is very soon my life is going to change. She's kind of I'm not going to say braced for it. She's ready for it because she's seen too many like symbols that are telling her that this is coming. King of Swords. When do you approach her? Because right now she's very open, and right now is kind of the time, because if somebody else amazing showed up, she would take it as a sign that she's supposed to go with that other person. So if you want her in this lifetime, man, and you're ready, then you probably shouldn't delay. We've got a Page of Coins for him sideways. I do feel like he would begin by reaching out. He may be drafting what he wants to say already. Two of Cups. But the Fool in the reverse. If he's drafting what he wants to say, but not sending it yet, it might just be because there's so much emotion in this. There's so much to say, and he doesn't want to. It's, every conversation has to begin somewhere. But do you begin with, hi? Or do you begin like with like the word high? Maybe words aren't even big enough to describe, and maybe that's a better way to say it. It feels like the reason I say he's drafting what he wants to say is because we have paper and pen here, but we also know that he's a big old thinker. So I hope you don't wait too long. Remember that very first card showed the throat chakra, and it was a King of Pentacles. So we know he's been slowly trying to figure out what to say. There's no fast, sudden anything. It's like he wants to get this communication right. 9 of Coins. She is still single right now. And he's like, I know that she is. I know that she is. Hermit. I don't know. This worries me. He sure is dilly-dallying. Why are you waiting so long? I can see why you want to get things right. But on the other hand, Hanged Man, he's trying to look at it from her lens. Okay, if I were single and abundant and somebody wants to come back in and say, I'm your 2 of Cups, how would I feel if I were her? He's trying to get in her head. You can't, though. You just got to write for yourself. Tell her how you feel. Don't try to figure out how she going to interpret, because we can't really crawl into somebody else's mind. I mean, it's good to be, empathic and say, how would I take this? Let me make sure I find loving words. Ace of Wands in the reverse. See, I think he's freaking himself out though a little, saying, I don't think she would want me. Well, then she thinks you're coming forward. I would just say, don't disappoint her. We got the Ace of Coins sideways. He wants a new beginning. She wants a new beginning. He knows that. Okay, finally, with the Chariot, he's going to send this message at night. It won't be in the daytime hours. It'll be after mulling and mulling and mulling over, and it could be wee hours of the night. It could be, darkest hours before the dawn kind of thing. So it could be 3:30 in the morning, I'm picturing 4:07. Sorry, I don't know why a number like that so precise is there, but 4:07, I guess because Chariot card 7 maybe, but I don't know why I get 4. But he will finally quit hemming and hawing and do this. And I don't think it'll be too late. It's just we can see he's trying to get in her head and picture what would this be like. He has so many beautiful cards about how he feels about her. He just doesn't want to approach wrong, and he actually doesn't really think that she would want him at this point, but he wants her. So I think he's going to sift through it and make that move. We can see she actually has always thought more highly of him, perhaps, than he has known. So I'm really pleased to see that movement forward. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.